welcome to the stage, Greg Pavlik.
Hello and welcome to CloudWorld. Thank you for coming. I'm Greg Pavlik, Executive Vice President at Oracle. And today we're going to talk about a topic we're very, very excited about at Oracle. You'll see many variations on this theme. But that's really how enterprise organizations are getting value with generative AI. The background with generative AI is all over the news. It's in everybody's experience. And it's really been shaped by the consumer segment. Right? Most people are using models in some way, shape, or form when you use internet searches. Search engines are giving search results back in summary form, and they're even labeled that they're AI processed. The models are becoming common with Apple and Meta. There's kind of the chatbot assistant experience within the social media context. And this has been an area of heavy investment. And of course, ChatGPT, when it came on the stage last year, really caught people's imagination. But one thing about these applications is that they're not really designed for business scenarios. And the models themselves, they're built really to work for consumer scenarios, or at least that was their initial genesis. The large models pull data from the internet to get the content knowledge they have, and then they're further trained or refined to do the kind of tasks that people wanted in these internet scenarios. So this is a good thing, powerful thing. But it's really not kind of what we're doing in the business context. So a lot of enterprise users saw the power of these models, and they really wanted to understand how they could apply in the context of their business. So the big question is really, how real is generative AI for the enterprise? I'll jump to the answer. We've been working to make it very effective and very real for enterprise users. This is where Oracle's been focused. We've been working on improving the models, really readopting them in many cases to deal with the kinds of solutions and scenarios we see in the business context, and to really make the technology manifest and be applied successfully in the enterprise context. So we've been working kind of to overcome some of the limitations people have seen when they initially experimented with the models. And one of the things I want to get into right away are some real-world examples of customers we've been working with who've really been driving value into production systems and workloads with generative AI. So I've got a bunch of examples right up on the right-hand side here of companies that we've been working with. It's kind of a representative sample of brands where we've been working together with them really to drive solutions that are changing their business. And what I'd like to do is look at a couple of examples right off the bat. So one is Mortenson. So for those who aren't familiar with Mortenson, they're a company that specializes in really large-scale construction projects. So one of the things they've done is the Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas where the Raiders play. So any of you that have seen the games on TV or been there yourself, that's an example of the work that they've done. What's great about this is you've got a true brick and mortar company on the cutting edge of AI applications. So I kind of think this is a great example that it's not just for tech companies, it's not just for SaaS providers, it's not just for people who are doing internet services. This is a really real-world, tangible work that this company does, and they've been driving a lot of outcomes around accelerating their business with generative AI. So one thing they've been doing has been working with our Primavera team to develop some really innovative work where they're using the generative AI models to summarize RFPs, and then they extract key information with the models and actually generate proposals automatically with the generative AI tools. They're also deploying the features within our Fusion applications. I'll talk a bit about that more later. It's another vector we're using to deliver generative AI value directly to you. And they're using both HR and financials really to accelerate the business processes that they have in place and really increase productivity for their teams. Another good example is Outfront Media. So Outfront Media connects brands with audiences with billboards and transit locations. Here in Las Vegas, they have contact with about 99% of the population. So they're kind of able to really have a high impact, high visibility read with their consumer audience. They're using generative AI to create weekly sales performance summaries. They also blend in recommended actions, and then those go out from their office of the chief revenue officer. Sales leaders go ahead and take that, and then they generate personalized, region-specific emails that really give people a sense of how to target and connect with their customers based on the recommendations that are coming from the CRO. So that you can see that they're really starting to drive a workflow around driving their business using generative AI as the engine. So this is a couple examples of what they're doing. They're also moving forward with using generative AI in a bunch of CRM scenarios that they're working with us on. And all of this helps them get better connectivity with their customers and better brand experience overall. Okay, so I'm going to do one more customer example just to give you a flavor of what we're seeing when we're working with our partners and our customers, and that's LinkedIn. So we're all using it. Everybody's familiar with LinkedIn. So let's talk about how they're working with Oracle to get value from generative AI. So I want to invite from LinkedIn, Dan Ockenfels. So Dan, could you come up on the stage?
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for joining me. Come on up and have a seat. So everybody knows LinkedIn, but it's all about connecting people, connecting employers and potential employees, sharing information now about your business. It's become almost an alternative media platform for certainly in the tech industry. So how does your team help make this happen?
Certainly. So I'm in the support operations space. I have a team of 4 really highly skilled engineers dedicated to Oracle Service Cloud. Myself, that team, some of our partners, we make sure that Oracle Service Cloud is always up and running to handle our customer requests. We have 1 billion+ members. Sometimes people need help, and it's our job to make sure that the support teams are able to get them that help effectively.
Okay. And so what does that look like in an average day or an average month? Like, what is the...
In terms of scale?
Yeah.
So we have roughly 1,300 agents working in Oracle Service Cloud for our free and premium member support team. I would say our ticket volume on average is around 600,000 a month, give or take. We might see a spike of up to 1 million a month in terms of customer interactions. So fairly busy.
So pretty significant, keeping you guys on your toes.
Yes.
Okay. So then, how does generative AI play into this?
A couple different ways. I'll give you one example. We have virtual chat agents, of course, chatbots. Everybody does. They're highly effective for allowing our members to self-serve, get answers to questions, even take some actions on their accounts automatically. There are going to be some instances, though, where a member can't get the help they need fully from a chatbot, at which point we need to get them to one of our support agents. In your previous world, let's say, the support agent that gets that chat has to go and review all of the different conversation that member had with the chatbot. Takes time. Delays that agent being able to engage with the member and actually provide that support, right? Coming into the world of generative AI, we have summarization. And so if we're able to do an exercise to summarize that prior conversation before it gets to the agent reads one paragraph, has a very good understanding of what that member needs in that moment, and they're able to get to, basically to the act of supporting and helping the member quicker. The other thing that does is reduce your overall time of support, bring down the cost of support operations. That's something that every business obviously is, looking for. The other example, top of mind, we're actually piloting with Oracle right now, something called GSAT. Everybody hopefully is familiar with customer satisfaction surveys, CSAT. CSAT is great. It provides a lot of very useful information to your business, both about how your agents are performing in the support space, but also about how your products are performing. There's a lot of good info to glean from that. The problem with CSAT, 2 primary problems. 1, very low response rate, and 2, when somebody fills out a customer satisfaction survey, it's often very biased, either very positive or very negative. Most people who have just an average interaction don't take the time to fill out a survey, right? What we're piloting with Oracle right now, GSAT, it's using sentiment analysis and various other GAI tools in the background to compose a score some highlights, some key pieces of data about each of these customer interactions. And the really nice thing about it is it can happen on every interaction.
Right.
It doesn't require a customer or a member to take time to fill out a survey after the fact. They don't have to do anything. And we get actionable insights from it. We can use it for coaching our agents. We can use it for improving our products, make sure trends are going in the right direction. So that's been a wonderful experience.
Okay, and how is it going? How's the pilot playing itself out?
Pilot's been very good so far. Working with Oracle, a couple of my engineers are directly partnering with some data scientists and some engineers on the Oracle side. We are spending a pretty decent amount of time, I would say, each week going through setting it up, testing it, validating it, and just making sure that it's dialed in for what we need. But it's been a very good experience so far.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's going to be a high-value project.
Definitely.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you all.
Well, I also wanted to call out some examples from Oracle. We are using the technology in our product suite, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but we're also applying generative AI to our own business processes. So I thought it'd be good to call those out as well. One area that we've been using is our own internal employee portal, My Oracle, and using a generative AI approach to helping users find better information, correct information, being contextually aware of what the user's intent and needs are. And so we're applying something called retrieval augmented generation. It's a technique where the generative AI models are looking into our knowledge bases and using that information in order to synthesize the results and responses to users. It's been a big win for us, both in terms of giving people just a better experience, better relevance, and better connection with their overall intention to solve their problems on the portal itself. We run about 5 million hits on the system a month, and we've been able to, with this solution, just rolling out recently, we've got the click-through rate going up by about 115%. So it's been a big win for us as a company. The other thing we've done is we've applied this to our IT support, right? So we've done something very similar to what we did with the My Oracle portal. But you know, with IT support, it's an incredibly important function for us. If people's IT systems are down or they can't work with their equipment, they can't do their job, right? So I think everybody knows how important this is. We built up a solution we call the Generative AI Support Assistant. And we looked at it from several perspectives. So one thing that we've been able to do for employees is they can now go on Slack, they can do a Slack channel, and we use generative AI to actually create a ticket based on the Slack conversation. So all the details are extracted, summarized, and formatted, and the ticket is auto-generated for our support engineers to work with them. The other one that the other point we focused on is really helping to answer questions preemptively. Right? So anyone that's been involved with the support business knows that the holy grail of support is case deflection. You want to get the answers and solutions to people right out of the box before they have to go talk to a human being, before they have to engage a support engineer. So it's a win-win for everyone. Employee gets their issue resolved, and it's much cheaper and faster to get to closure with each issue. So we've applied this there. In the first generation, which we rolled out, we've got 30% deflection rates, which is really good results. And it's reduced our inflow on tickets by about 4,000 tickets a week. So high impact project for us right off the bat. Okay, so a lot of organizations are getting success, right? Getting value today. But we also talk to teams where they're struggling with their AI projects. So I want to talk about that as well, what we've seen not working over the last 12 months or so. You know, where customers are expecting to get efficiencies, in some cases, what we've seen is they just get stuck into kind of analysis mode. So instead of getting gains, they're spending money and they're just kind of cranking on projects that aren't really moving toward production. The second is on the, people expect easy use. When everybody sees an example of generative AI, it looks and feels like magic, right? But there are limitations and inconsistencies, which we're helping to address. But when people haven't had experience with the generative AI models, they kind of don't know where they should think about starting and where they should think about ending the projects. And the last thing is on cost savings. A lot of the applications that we've seen people try to tackle have been about cost efficiencies and cost savings, but the models themselves are actually pretty expensive to run and to maintain. So those have been challenges where we've seen people get blocked. No surprise, Oracle's been focused on making sure that we have answers to those challenges, right? So one of the ways we're helping people move forward very quickly without getting stuck in analysis mode is giving people turnkey integrations through applications. And you'll see that throughout CloudWorld, discussions about all the features and functions that are coming out driven by generative AI that are available to use for free, and they're plumbed into the workflows you're using today, right? We also have newer and easier to use technology, better models from a generative AI model perspective, and a new approach called agents that we've been working that allow you to get a kind of a packaged approach to solving generative AI problems. And then the last on the cost savings, we have new generation of models as well, where we're getting much, much better price performance. So we'll talk about some of these in the course of the presentation, but these are some of the key elements that we've been working with our partners and with our customers to make sure that we're addressing, okay? The other thing I want you to be aware of is Oracle has a really unique focus on this. It really is all about trying to make generative AI successful in the enterprise, right, as opposed to the consumer focus. One of the things that we are about here at Oracle is obviously data. Data is kind of in our DNA, and we are working to make sure that we're bringing generative AI directly to the data in the Oracle databases and within the Oracle applications. We're also giving more deployment options than anyone else in the industry. That includes being able to deploy the fully managed generative AI capabilities that we'll talk about today within your own data center. And we have a heavy focus on making sure this is all enterprise grade, enterprise ready in terms of security and privacy guarantees, data protection. It's not a piecemeal approach. It's part of really an integrated solution that is meant to be in the most sensitive business workflows that are driving your business. So the investments that we've got around generative AI are at every level of the stack. We have it everywhere from our infrastructure in OCI all the way up through our SaaS apps. And the investments build on each other. So these are kind of benefits that accrue up the stack, so to speak. I want to talk about each of these layers to give you kind of an understanding of what we're doing and why, and the impact that it's having in the industry. So first, Oracle's generative AI starts with infrastructure. We have provided a technology that's called an OCI supercluster, which is becoming a real kind of industry standard platform for training and creating generative AI models. So we're working with a lot of companies where their business is built in around creating generative AI models, and it allows us to also partner with them fairly deeply. These superclusters combine bare metal nodes, an ultra-low latency networking fabric, and now we've introduced a low latency, high performance file system as well. So you put these together and you can scale clusters to over 100,000 GPUs, right? So we're on the kind of extreme end of what you can do with supercomputing to help drive this generative AI revolution forward. We're also adding the latest in terms of GPU stacks. So we've got NVIDIA's H200s coming. There's the upcoming NVIDIA Blackwell configuration and the GB200 shapes. So we've got this kind of continuous stream of innovation with our partners coming into the platform and available in the superclusters. We're also making it available for customers in other shapes. For example, in our container infrastructure, Oracle Kubernetes engine, we've added support for AI workloads by tying that into our GPU infrastructure, so you can run the containers. Containers get access to GPUs. And next week, we're launching something called Node Manager, which it provides us a way for you to see what's happening within your Kubernetes infrastructure as you use the GPUs and as you use the RDMA networking infrastructure. You get a lot more visibility and manageability into your deployments of GPU-based workloads with containers. Now, of course, we're very focused on making sure that we're bringing AI to data, right? And great AI always starts with data. The models are trained with data, they're refined with data. And virtually every company on the planet, big and small, is using Oracle for managing their data sets, right? 98% of the Fortune 100 are running Oracle databases, and every company today that has an Oracle support contract can upgrade to 23 AI, our latest release, which is plumbed with AI capabilities. So you can literally bring the AI capabilities direct to your data. You don't have to move it to another database, and your business data becomes your AI data, which is inherently a competitive advantage. Key capability we've added revolves around a new vector data type. So a vector is a way to represent data. It's often unstructured data like text or images, and the system represents it in numerical form, which is the same kind of approach that's used inside of a large language model. This allows the database to do a similarity match, which is based on the distance between objects in vector space. Now sounds complex, but what it really means is you can ask questions about your documents or your images and other data types and how they relate to your needs in your business context, and you get the information you need quickly. It's a similarity matching function that works amazingly well. And so now you can also use these vectors together with your structured data. So you can start to ask questions and have consistency between data sets that you're managing. They're available for generative AI functions and your traditional structured business data. So later when we talk a little bit more about generative AI agents, so kind of a new concept that we're introducing, we'll see how this capabilities come together, and so you can interactively talk to your data and get the answers you need. It's really a paradigm shift for a lot of users. Okay, so the next layer on the stack are our AI services, right? So on OCI, we have a series of AI services that really allow you to work with models and talk with your systems and include them in your critical workflows. So we'll look a little bit about what we're doing with models and with these agents. On the models, we're curating a set of large language models that are really meant for enterprise use, and we're using them ourselves as well, and we're constantly pushing them and evolving them so that the training makes them more applicable for the kind of workloads and scenarios you're going to face on a day-to-day basis. And then we're also giving this new capability set called agents. And these are kind of systems of models that are designed for really dynamic workflows that can be integrated into your business systems. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about what that looks like. But let me step back and talk first about the OCI Generative AI service. This is kind of our flagship where we've made curated models available to use for enterprise problems. So if I step back for a sec, the large language models, as I say, were originally generated for the consumer space, and the results are really impressive. I mean, this is really what caused the revolution to kind of burst out in the public. And people started to work with the models in really novel ways, all the way from creating term papers to writing songs and music, et cetera. So it's great stuff. But our business scenarios are different than what's required to do a term paper or to write music or to create a poem. When you're looking at applications and interacting with structured data, when you're dealing with business workflows or data management systems, it's a different paradigm. And so you have very different needs out of the models. So we need models that are grounded in business data and business workflows and business patterns. Plus, we also need models that you can actually afford to use. Some of these initial generative AI models that were aimed at the consumer space, they're trillions of parameters in size, and they're just intractable from a cost perspective. So while you can run any generative AI model you want on OCI, and we have made it increasingly simple to deploy any model that's available on Hugging Face, for example, what we're doing in the OCI Generative AI service is we're curating a set of models, and we're helping to evolve those models so that they really work well for the enterprise. So this year we've seen the emergence of several new generations of models that are much more capable than what we've seen in the past. They're more efficient and smaller form factor, and they can be effectively fine-tuned against your business data. So it's really a game changer in terms of what we have now available compared to a year ago to work with when it comes to business systems. So one I'd like to call out first is a new model called Command-R from our partner Cohere. It's shrunk down to only 35 billion parameters, which is almost half the size of what you would have seen in terms of a medium large language model a few quarters ago. It can run on a single GPU, but when you apply some fine tuning to it, it can often outperform or perform on par with some of the really large frontier models. Now supports 12 languages. And with each update that we're getting as we work with them, it's getting better and better. So it's more efficient. It means we can offer it at a fraction of the price that we've seen in the past for large language models. And we're really excited about the forward-looking development that we're pushing with Cohere on this one. We've also introduced the new generation of models from Meta, the Llama family. The great thing about these models is that they're open. They're part of an open ecosystem. And they also keep getting better with each update. We've been working closely with Meta in partnership. It's been really rewarding to pair up with them. I'll call out their 405 billion parameter model. So this is a much larger model. It's the largest we've ever offered. But for really complex reasoning and tasks that have instruction following that's complicated, this is a great model that can outperform the smaller form factor models. So we're pretty excited about what we're seeing in terms of the new models from Meta as well, and their applicability into the business domain. Okay, so LLMs by themselves are very powerful. How do they work? They take a user prompt, and then they return a response. And they return the response based on the data they've been trained against. So they can do a lot of tasks, but they're essentially stateless, and they're limited to what they have in terms of their internal knowledge. What we want to see is the ability to go beyond that. Still get the power of the LLM, but go beyond that and work with your business data and your business systems. So we're introducing the OCI agent service, which is kind of a new paradigm, right? These are services, they use many models in the back end to support multi-turn interactions and complex workflows. So let me kind of explain what that means as well. When you talk to an agent, when you interact with natural language, it retains the context. So not only does it see the prompt that you send, but it also sees the prompts that you've sent in the past and the responses that it's given. So it has a memory that it can employ every time you're interacting with it. And second, the agents are able to work with external systems, right? They can use data and knowledge bases or even relational databases and use that information to help respond to end users. So they're not just confined to the information that the model's been trained on. They can dynamically work with your information systems. And they can use APIs that interact with applications. So you can imagine an agent is configured to work with your internal systems, and a user can go and ask questions, and the agent can get answers that are up to date from live data, and perhaps even make updates in the system on behalf of a user. The good thing about the agent is we do all the heavy lifting of the implementation. You get the value of the functionality, but you don't have to worry about what models are being used, how the models are functioning. We kind of package that all up and really make it into a turnkey solution. The first agent that we're releasing and we're announcing general availability for is our RAG agent, the Retrieval Augmented Generation capability I talked about before. You can pair this up with your Oracle 23AI database, and it's vector types representation for unstructured data. The agent will understand user questions, find the answers in the vector store, using the similarity search capabilities we talked about to really find the most relevant information, then use that to form the response that the user wants based on their prompts. So the RAG agent, again, is fully managed. All the complex details of setting it up and running it are hidden from the user. We manage the models. We handle all the user prompts. And you can get started quickly with it with no manual setup. All you have to do is upload some documents. We'll move them into data storage and allow you to start talking to your data right away. That's not all we're doing. Okay, so we've just announced that release. We've also released the public beta of what we call Oracle Code Assist. It's a developer productivity agent. It plugs into your team's favorite IDEs, and it can be used to answer questions about code, help understand what's happening inside a large code base. It can build documentation. It can generate tests or even generate code itself. And the interface to it is just natural language. It's like you're having a conversation inside your tool. We're adding more enterprise adaptive models within the OCI Generative AI service, and so we're rolling that out to more regions around the globe. We've made it really easy to quickly deploy any model you want that's available in Hugging Face right onto OCI. Make it easy to deploy, we make it easy to fine-tune or do additional training, and make it available for inferencing. And of course, as you might guess, we are also focusing quite a bit on deeper integration with our databases. And we have a new SQL agent, which is in alpha now, which enables you to do natural language interactions with your SQL database against structured data. So it makes it easier for non-technical users really to access and analyze data within the Oracle ecosystem. And as we move forward, we'll add more agents and make these capabilities available to you on an ongoing basis. The last thing I'll call out is across all this, in terms of focus, security is paramount, right? Security, privacy, data protection. This is a cross-cutting theme for us. So when you're using our services and you're using our models, you got data encryption for data at rest and in transit. You have full control over the access to your models. They'll be deployed into private networks, only available to your organization, and then also controlled access using our IAM capabilities, our identity and access management policies. So you get all the benefits of cloud security built into this infrastructure. Lastly, you can deploy them where you want, including within your own data center. Oracle has the ability to take OCI and deploy it as what we call a dedicated region a cloud at customer offering, sometimes called a DRCC. Dedicated regions are OCI instances deployed into your own data centers. And with our Alloy configuration, we'll even allow you to do the operations and management for the custom deployment of the cloud in your data center. So we're the only company to offer these cloud services direct into your data center under your own control. Okay, so I would like to welcome Noriyuki Takeda from NRI to talk a bit about this and their experiences using generative AI with DRCC and Alloy. But first, let's get a quick look at who NRI is.
NRI. With over 16,000 employees around the world, NRI goes beyond solving the problems of today. Our think tank makes us unique among systems providers. Whether studying the effects of AI on Japan's workforce or leading the talk about the global economy at a major financial summit, our think tank collaborates with the brightest minds around the globe, ensuring that we operate at the threshold of innovation in every area of our business. Nomura Research Institute, building a sustainable tomorrow today.
Thank you.
Okay, just welcome.
Happy to be here.
So, saw a little bit about NRI. So, why is AI becoming increasingly important for the financial services market?
Okay. In recent years, driven by the Japanese government's financial policies, interest in asset management has significantly increased in Japan. So financial institutions now need to be more efficient, resilient, and compliant with regulations than ever before. Therefore, Japanese financial institutions expect NRI to leverage its extensive financial knowledge and generative AI to effectively address these complexities.
Okay. So you guys are doing this on a new AI platform that we've worked together to develop. So can you tell us a bit about the platform?
Yes. We are excited to launch our new NRI financial AI platform in the first half of next year. This platform will enable our clients to leverage AI technologies while maintaining the highest standards of data security. And we are the first in the world to adopt Oracle Alloy within our data centers. With Oracle Alloy, we can confidently offer cutting-edge AI technologies while guaranteeing data sovereignty for our clients.
And what led NRI to choose Oracle?
As you know, NRI is the world's first DRCC user. And our mission-critical financial services, like the STAR, are already running on DRCC. This demonstrates its stability and reliability. Also, Japanese financial institutions have complex requirements for protecting customer information and maintaining regulatory compliance. We decided to use Oracle Alloy and Cohere because it provides high security to meet those demands and offers flexibility to adapt to changes in financial regulations.
So you're using the Cohere models with OCI in the DRCC context. Why Cohere?
So today, our solutions are chosen by over 300 financial institutions in Japan. Our back office solutions manage about half of Tokyo Stock Exchange's trading volume. Also, Japan has very strict personal data protection laws. This makes information handling extremely sensitive. With this in mind, when integrating LLM into the financial sector, reliability and accuracy are crucial. We chose Cohere for its strong performance, especially its RAG technology. Over the past year, we've tested its capabilities with Oracle. And we've found that the combination of Cohere and Oracle Alloy works perfectly in private environments. This makes it ideal for enterprise use. By leveraging our extensive financial knowledge and ID data, I believe we can set a new standard for the financial industry in Japan.
And what does the AI roadmap look like for NRI?
Well, as a first step, we are planning to boost the development productivity or SaaS business and achieve a new competitive advantage by integrating AI-driven development. From a service perspective, we will initially focus on 3 areas: sales support, compliance operations, and autonomous back-office operations. Through these initiatives, we aim to provide financial institutions with a holistic NRI financial AI platform. At NRI, our mission is to maximize the benefits of generative AI and deliver new value to our clients.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, Takita-san.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the last thing that we're investing in that I wanted to call out is we are plumbing generative AI into our SaaS portfolio across the board. So we're building features directly into our apps, into Fusion, NetSuite, our vertical applications ranging from healthcare to retail. So you can start getting the power of generative AI without the implementation work or training costs. This is a great on-ramp for customers to get turnkey value right out of the gate and really show the kinds of efficiencies and the kinds of gains that you can get from using generative AI. I'll give an example right here of the Fusion team. Fusion team has been really working at an incredible pace. They've already shipped more than 50 use cases for apps customers that are being used every day. Tomorrow, Steve Miranda, in his keynote, he'll get into a lot more examples, so I won't steal his thunder. But I do want to call out the work that they've done and suggest that you get a chance to plug into his keynote because they're doing some great stuff that you can turn on in your Fusion applications today and immediately get going with a value proposition around generative AI solutions. Okay? One more quick example of what we're doing in the app space, and this is with healthcare, right? So in healthcare, one of the things that occupies much of the time for providers is, rather than spending time with patients, it's doing documentation and trying to understand and make sense of the vast range of information that's out there about patients. So one of the things that we're doing is we're helping to automate the process of patient care follow-up. Typically, when a provider has to look at across systems, they can go through as many as 12 different sources of information in order to get really a synthesized view of what's been going on with the patient. So what we've done here is we have an AI-driven solution. It can summarize patient information. It can look across those 12 plus systems like labs, procedures, immunizations, allergies, patient visit histories, vaccination histories, et cetera. And it can bring that all together into a report that the healthcare provider can use. Order of magnitude faster, it can take 30 minutes plus down to just a minute or so in a clinical setting. Okay, so one other thing I want to call out, point McKinsey's made, and that is that AI adoption is going through the roof over the last year, right? It was pretty steady. We were seeing about 50% of organizations were doing some kind of AI investment. 2024, it's about 72% and growing, right? So this is the time really to double down on the investments and double down on the opportunity to use this technology. To get the kind of success that we're seeing, oftentimes when you're just getting started, you really can benefit from a partner. You obviously need the right data, you need the right processes, but the partner end of the equation is important as well. We've been working quite a bit with some of the leading system integrators to really help our customers in their journey with generative AI. An experienced SI, experienced system integrator, they've been there, they've done it, they've seen what works, what doesn't work. And because the large language models are evolving, the strengths of the models are also changing over time. When you've got a team that has experience with generative AI, you can avoid pitfalls, you can avoid rat holes, and really start to move toward a solution rapidly. You'll answer questions quickly like, will fine-tuning help, or is it necessary? Am I approaching data preparation properly, right? Especially when it comes to these RAG solutions where you need to think about the organization of your data and making it available effectively for the models. Should you consider these agents, right? And will the models be changing? They're not static, right? Will they be changing in ways that help me? And will that allow me to, accelerate my productivity across a range of scenarios? So to give you some more insight on this, I want to invite my colleague, Darcy Matthias from Deloitte, up onto the stage.
Right.
Darcy, welcome.
Thank you.
Come, have a seat.
Yep.
So you're working with customers every day.
That's right.
Right. That's the sort of the experience with the SIs, and your focus has been helping them really realize the value with AI. I've gone through a bunch of examples today, kind of where we've been working with customers and what we're helping them achieve in terms of benefits. But for customers who are thinking about how do I get started, how do I get into the first step, what do you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. And again, thanks for the opportunity to be here today. We, as Deloitte, have done dozens of meetings and labs with clients over the past 6 to 9 months. And this is the primary question: is what's the first step? The vast majority of our clients understand the value of AI and Gen AI. They just don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. And so at Deloitte, we really have 3 major components that we help clients take that first step. And the first thing we have is a Gen AI lab, which is all driven by OCI and the Gen AI services, which is a half-day session to help them start thinking about what parts of their business could benefit from AI, but also to help break the myths and some of the concerns they have with AI. Then we have 2 other programs, an AI ambassador program, which we give to our most strategic clients, and we subsidize the build of their first use cases, all with the OCI platform, And the last thing we have is something we stood up in the last year, which is an AI factory, just so that once clients have kind of got ready to start, we have a proven team with the right tools to build their solution for them.
Okay. So Deloitte's been around for a long time, 175 years, I think. And helping businesses optimize their processes, launch new capabilities. And I think that you've really been focused a lot on how to use new tech like AI in critical business systems. How has that experience shaped how you guys think about AI and the generative AI world in general? Like, how does that kind of core DNA inform what you're doing?
That's a great question. So my role at Deloitte was lead our Oracle practice. So if I think of what Deloitte brings and what we focus on, it's really about how we optimize our clients' core back office processes, whether it's finance, supply chain, or HR. So what we do is we use that knowledge of best practices around different aspects of their back office, and we look at where AI or Gen AI within that process could help them drive shareholder value, for instance. So we really use that knowledge of process overlaid by any industry knowledge as well and regional nuances. So we really dissect it that way and look at ways in which, from a human perspective, we can insert this innovation to help them have efficiency, avoid errors, be more competitive, but we look at it from a real business perspective.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite customer use cases?
So we actually have, I like the topic today around practical, no more hype, and we're seeing that this year. We think the wave of academic to practice is here now. And so we have a number of examples where we have clients that are actually running live solutions in production on OCI with Gen AI. So there's a few that come to mind for me, and number one of our first ones was in healthcare, and it has to do with procurement. So it allows a buyer to have Gen AI and AI automation support to help procure the right inventory products for a hospital, for instance. I like that solution because it takes data that's cataloged, but also goes to the internet and brings it in, and it learns as it goes. It's really outstanding, and it has a really strong ROI, so I like that one. The second one has to do with a real portfolio of AI and Gen AI solutions that fit within the HR business, whether it's payroll, benefits, or talent. There's about 12 different components we have deployed there and a number of clients in the US that help with that HR function, whether it's updating a payroll information, asking questions. HR is a good one.
Yep.
And the last one has to do with month-end close. Everybody has month-end close. It's a common challenge for business. So we have a number of solutions in production right now that are built on OCI that help with that process and really allow clients to get to the point of month-end that matters. So the reconciliation is done automatically, it learns as it goes, and it gets the executives of that client to really know the data better. So those are the three I like the best, and mostly because of the ROI. They're in production, and we're seeing positive.
Oh, excellent. I mean, it's great to see like real value to accruing to customers. So, okay, thank you very much.
That's right.
Okay, the last thing I want to draw your attention to is, we're really making an effort to bring generative AI into the enterprise and really bring it into the mainstream. And we're working to make it available in our products. We're working with our partners to make it available in really accessible forms today. We also have a new Solution Hub website, which you can go to. It gives you blueprints for common patterns we see. There's documentation, there's code that you can reuse, there's videos. It's meant to be an easy way to get started, to start to build your own generative AI capabilities and get them going in your organization. So very simple to get access to the information, tutorials, etc. And we're adding new solutions to this all the time. So my invitation to you is to get started today. Thank you very much.